Hi, my name is Matul Patel. I'm the Senior Software Engineer at SANBlaze. This video will go through the initial setup for the SBExpress-DT5 NVMe test system. To begin, first we'll take everything out of the box. Make sure there are no parts damaged. Based on the configuration you purchased, the slots will have either U.2 or EDSFF connectors. If testing E1 EDSFF form factor drives, we supply a kit of 3 different E1 brackets based on the size of your drives. Be sure the adapter works with your drive, and then you can go ahead and insert it into the SANBlaze drive bay located at the front of the system. Depending on the size of your drive, you may not need an adapter. The SBExpress-DT5 also supplies a PCIe slot on the top of the chassis and can be used for plug-in NVMe drives or FPGA development boards. Unscrew the 4 screws on the top PCIe slot and paste your card either directly into the slot or use the support bracket if extra support is needed in order to keep it secure. The ports for the power plug and Ethernet are located in the back. Plug the power cable into a power source and plug in the Ethernet cable into its respective port. Power up the unit by pressing the green checkmark button on the front of the system. Now that the system has been cabled and powered up and connected to the network, we can go ahead and connect it to it via a web browser and show you how to start some tests. Simply put the IP address that was shown on the front of the chassis into your web browser and then hit enter, and you'll get a login screen that you can see here. The default username is system, all lowercase, and then the password is SANBlaze, capital S-A-N-B, lowercase L-A-Z-E. Just click sign in and you'll get a screen that looks like this. Here you can go ahead and change the IP address of the system if needed, as well as things like the date and time if you need to. The easiest way to get started is to click the left-hand SBExpress Manager link. So we go ahead and click that and you will get a screen that looks something like this, depending on the system you're on. Since this is a DT5 chassis, it will show you 4 slots for the 3 front drive bays and the 1 top slot. If this was an ARM5, you would see individual drive slots for all the 16 slots in the front of the system. Otherwise, they operate in the same manner. Each slot will show you power information, link speed, if a slot is populated or not. In this case, since they're green, that means the drive has been inserted into the chassis. If there was no drive there, it would just be white and clear. The easiest way to get started is to select the drive you want to test. In this case, I'll test slot 1, and then scroll down to the bottom here and you'll see a list of tests under Certified by SANBlaze section. If I click the SANBlaze tab, you'll see a list of tests broken out by type. You can expand these and see all the different individual tests, or you can go ahead and select all of them by clicking the checkbox at the higher level. In this case, I'll just select all the generic tests, and then at the bottom here, hit Add to SBCert. This will go ahead and add all the tests into my test suite that I want to run. All the tests will get listed in the middle here now, and then I can go ahead and easily start them by just clicking the Start button. If I click Start, it will go ahead and start all the tests and give you a status here as they're running. This will show you which one is currently running and whether they passed or failed or skipped. So these are continuing in passing. You'll notice the links here are now clickable. If I click on these, you will start getting per test information as to what ran. So I'll show you a couple that were skipped. So a passing one looks like this. It goes ahead and just shows you the commands that were run, as well as if there were any errors or reasons for skipping sections of the test. In this case, certain optional fields were not supported, so it just shows you that those parts were skipped. Since they're optional, the test passes. We can go back in a second once this is finished and see ones where the entire test was skipped to compare the differences. So we'll just give this a second. Okay, now that the whole suite is finished, we can go back and take a look at the skipped tests. So if I click on one of the skipped ones, it'll go ahead and tell you why the test was skipped. In this case, this was an identifying namespace ID test. However, this device does not support namespace management, so it skips the entire test and marks it purple. If it was failed, it would show you a red status and explain as to why the test was failed. So you can get a per test status by clicking the individual test here. Also, once the suite is complete, it builds a full test report over here in the report section. It's labeled by the date and then the target you're running on. So you go ahead and click that and hit view. This will pop up a full report, including power graphs and I/O charts. You can mouse over it and get status for any given time. There's an I/O latency chart at the bottom. And if you scroll down, there's a breakdown of all the tests that you ran. So here are all the tests that we ran, all the skipped and passed ones. Clicking on the detail on either one will expand it and show you the summary that we saw on the other pop-up page. You can go ahead and save this report. You can also go ahead and print this and save it as a PDF that you can then share with your team or customers if needed. So we can go ahead and close that. Hopefully that is a good summary to show you how to quickly get started and get I/O going with your SANBlaze DT5 or ARM5 test system. My name is Mitul Patel. I'm a software engineer here at SANBlaze. Thank you for watching.